All right, so I'm saying it's the psychology of the thing here. It's the psychology of the thing. Because even if, because this is a part of a system or a matrix or my tricks, somebody's mother's tricks there. Now, I'm just going, right? Also gives time for these my DNA, matching it up with other people, doing so. So we don't know if this is something that God actually did, or we don't know if this is man-made with some of these parts. Like I could have the DNA, but then they tried to, bring that into fruition into my reality. See, the thing, I think that's the mistake here. These people are dealing in the background, but it's a problem when I try to bring something into reality because they could be saying you're releasing things of heaven, but that's not heavenly. These are not things of heaven. My energy of saying if Moses maybe God, maybe this time when it come around that if all this shit has been done, Moses is actually going to have to sacrifice his son. But if I'm saying this could be somebody trying to put down on a birth certificate that Moses is my father. You understand? They were treating his daughter like she was God's daughter, and they were treating me like I was just Moses's daughter. Because Moses and them could have street credit, but God's daughter got heavenly credit. And if the angels and shit didn't like me, or celebrities or stars don't like me, because I will be the brightest thing. If I'm gonna be a star, I'm gonna be the brightest star ever. If I'm going to be in the heavens, it would be like Lucifer was like the most. He was an angel before he was the devil, the most beautiful thing, or something like this. But it's almost like trying to stage a fall here, trying to stage a fall. Because think about it, when I started going to walk, it's like there's girls there. As long as I don't say these things, I know I didn't do anything wrong, that I'm afraid that somebody could go look on me or on a camera, or I didn't do anything wrong where it should land me in hell. You understand what I'm saying? Where I'm not concerned about that. But if we just been like, yeah, when I was in school or something like this, they're getting away with something, because if these people go back 9 times out of 10, they're gonna find their discrepancies, not mine. I don't have nothing to run from. If these people are Iranians or the people that ran, yeah, I ran. When I felt the heat, I ran. I didn't. I stood my ground the whole time. So how you gonna come back here and tell me anything? You know what I'm saying? Or reincorporate yourself and tell me anything. Or if you was hiding all this time and hiding your clan underground or whatever in the background, how you gonna come back into this energy and tell me anything? So, but that's the only scary part too, because these people could be really crafty with photoshopping and stuff like this. Okay. Um, it's making me think about that movie, The Fallen Angels, or Fallen, or something like that too, with those kids that was had to go to that bad school. That could have been what the career academy was, to be honest with you, because my boyfriend and all his friends had to go there first, and for the two freshman and sophomore year, and then junior year, when I was going to high school, they made it junior year. He would have been moving over to the high school, and then senior year, I was about to be starting at the high school, so we both met up. We already been dating or seeing each other before school started, and then when we started going to school. So whatever these people was in, because I'm here until I met you. So whatever these people were incorporated with, say, the reason why they needed me to move to the north is because that version of me perished or had to move somewhere else. Then it's weird, because I'm still seeing myself in a separate bubble than them. Or they put a whole new, like they made all of they regenerated us, placed us there, but at some point in time they lost me, or they lost one of those sisters. The person could have turned to a demon and then was trying to interfere from the background, because once somebody's a demon, they could be a dark energy, or they could be a demon like on the verge. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's something like that. It's something like that could be the detrimental. So when we hearing about 94 with that the thing on fire or something like this, the girl burning down the house, you know, why I'm seeing it like these people within the background already doing something. I'm not sure. I don't know how to. because I told you if the girl Candelaria is really my best friend Martha, when I was living in my Jackson house, my May Jackson house, if Martha and them, so satellites could be important to backtrack, maybe, okay. If Martha and them was living in that house, because when we came back, Martha and them wasn't living there. When I came back, because we did briefly live at the May house with my dad and his girlfriends at some point in time, like in the late 80s. We after the breakup of my mom and dad, we did move back in there, I think, for a brief time, and we moved from the Jackson house and from the Rolling Greens to the May house. I mean, from the Rolling Greens to the Metropolitan House. All right. Maybe these people have been also shifting the timeline, like or a trail being disconnected and some pieces being moved around here to manipulate. Hold on. To manipulate the timeline. Okay. To manipulate the timeline. Now, whoever this masculine is, this King of Cups or this Cancer or this person in reverse, whether it's a girl, boy, whoever, whatever it is, could be somebody that thought I would just slip into the foundation, into the cracks, or slip in this person like everybody else did. But if I'm the real thing, there's no way. Reverse, and then we have gentleness in reverse. There could be also like, see how this spinning thing is a maze or something like this. Being gentle about a situation, right? I don't know why my camera keeps turning on and off, but we're gonna keep on moving. So I was thinking, what if that day the reality wasn't hallway where I studies class or something right here, or reading or language arts or something was right here. And if you go, okay, so you come up those back stairs and then start coming this way. My classroom was on this side, and then you could walk down the hallway, and there was another hallway where my science class used, where I kissed that boy at the door. And my science class was right to the left, and to the right it was a hallway that I never used to go down. I felt weird going down that hallway. I never used to go down that hallway. I think it had a glass. That's that hallway. I think they got that glass where you looking out at Circle Drive. I think it was what it used to be called, right there at the high school. It's a hallway that goes down. It goes east and west. And I don't think I ever had really class, but I don't know. I felt weird going down that hallway because it was just off the beaten path, you know. But if you go, there's that hallway right there, and then the other hallway is down there. It's only like about 12 feet, because it's only like one classroom or two right there on that little corner, and then you could go down those other stairs that come down by the I think it might come down by the photography place, the photography room, and the workshop rooms. But that was also like an awkward staircase to be going up. But if you keep going straight, my business class was over here to the left, and I think it's that stairwell that was after the business class. I think that's where they said because while I'm blinking my eyes right now, I'm seeing that stairwell, and I think I'm seeing right when you go downstairs by Circle Drive, right north of the office. I'm seeing that little, it's like a little area right there. It's also a off the beaten path kind of area. But I think that if I can remember, that's the stairwell where they said that they pulled the knife out. So we didn't see nothing going on right there. And so we ended up we don't remember anything else. You see? But if we think about this whole thing as to some of these imposters and stuff are wrapped up in our school system, they're now teachers and coaches and social security and security guards and counselors and things like that. Like for targeted individuals or discrimination against people from certain areas, or somebody like, oh yeah, they didn't grow up in this city, they grew up in the next city or the next county over. Oh yeah, like there's something deeper rooted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, those girls from Zion, oh, they think those is daughters of God, because you have to think about it. Their processing system could have been a little bit stronger than just mine, or mine and the Play Sisters. I don't know what's in their head, but for me, it seems like everybody had a up and up. I was the one looking stupid. I was the one that was not in depth, but it also helped me sharpen up my own instincts and my own sensors or senses. right? Where that if somebody would say, well, you ain't even one of these, or you're not even that, or something. Well, I'm a living God energy in a sense. So if you leave me to have to I'm going to feed myself. I'm going to become sharp on my own. I'm going to do this and that. And that might scare these people from plugging me into what I'm supposed to be in, because somebody is already this heightened and you didn't even go to no school or to know what we was doing. How are you putting this shit together? It's almost like this is what I'm hearing here. And so now people want to keep me. It's like somebody cracking the well open and then try to say that they cracked this open or they activated something in me, and now I can do and right just in time. But the real thing is they just knew the prophecy. They knew when it was going to happen, and they made and staged kind of things like this so these people can leap over to where I'm supposed to be going, since they tried to hold me back. And then they're going there and they're trying to make me now like, oh, now people in your community see you and they're worshiping. No, that's not what this is, because we can even flip the script on the fact that Mexico is here. And I told you to go look through history. Nobody had it easier coming into the Americas and really populating themselves heavily. Nobody had it easier than the fucking Mexicans. And I don't care what color they are. There's dark skinned Mexicans too. I don't care what skin tone they are. This ain't even about race. You might use ethnicity or something. This don't have nothing to do with like color as a race. I'm just saying that nobody had an easier coming in. So I'm offended if somebody say, "Oh, you notice that Mexicans don't go public and start talking about, oh, well, we just don't feel at home in America, or oh, Americans, they can't." You would look crazy, because this group is the group that had it easiest coming into the land, basically being worshipped here. The women, a lot of situations where Hispanic women, because I think Kim Kardashian would be considered Hispanic or Mexican. Okay. But if they did change their color, you understand? Okay. But so you really have to be going deep into this. Just because I'm calling out the surface level thing, there's still further testing or looking in. If we on that level here, they were waiting for me. It's like, I've been waiting for you, Clarice. Like that shit. I was about to say something else, but y'all see, when I'm giving the rundown, it's just that's what y'all getting right there. All right, it's just like I'm just so so let's think about it on that level here. New levels, new devils. But nobody had it easier, right? You'll make Americans lazy and say we just like to watch TV all day. We don't like to work, even though everybody got to pay their damn bills. And then you'll bring a group in here that say that they work hard. But if they was working that hard, why wasn't they able to build these empires like this in their own land? That's the question here. Just like a lady with wealth would bring a woman into the house to clean up the house as a slave in the back in the day, as a servant or a maid or something today, or something. Then we start getting slack like, oh, Mexicans feel like we only see them as servants on TV or something like this. Now they're headlining, and nobody still got a problem. It's just like, okay, let's get some Eva Longoria, let's get some people up in here, even though we might have different Latino ethnic backgrounds. We're not gonna lump everybody into Mexico. Um, kids, Selena Gomez and them, they started making a name here. Okay. But you let that lady come in and be a nanny or something to your children, and your man, and you working hard and stuff like this, and you matching his energy, bringing home as much or more money than this person, and then he start looking at the younger nanny that's taking care of the children, and then boom, he liked the way that looked. He liked this woman taking care of the children. He don't see you taking care of the children in that sense. Even though today they're doing a lot of ghostly shit and a lot of cyber shit. Like, people's acting like they had it written like, oh, she got 8 maids, but there was nobody there helping you with the children. But people was getting paid to help you with the children. But what they was doing is coming in, children out, moving children around, recording you, trying to see how many times you yell at the children, because somebody was already working with somebody in the background to take your entire empire, including your children, and say that you wasn't worthy of having them in the future. So these were not nannies. These was women that would just come in your house and say, "Oh, she was tired tonight. We probably got a the baby probably got a soiled diaper or something. Let's go in there and take a picture of it." They were not helping you. They were hindering someone. This is a system. I'm hearing this is how they take on. This is how they take nations. Like a big military coming in with some big drones and some big those big old trucks and shit like this, but it don't look like that because the fabrics of something is built into people, and a lot of people discount people because they're not doing what the societal norm is, but God still packed them with a punch. And there's people that are wicked enough to think that they can go in on these particular children because they're naivety or because it's something that they don't know or they don't see the reality or the structure of something or they haven't studied something enough. And then this is when they're able to take advantage here. So then it becomes, I'm not even mad at you because of this or because you Mexican or whatever. But you think about this. A lot of once what I noticed that when I was growing up in our situation, me and my so-called best friend, okay, we're just gonna say America and Mexico was best friends. All right. They live right next door to each other. That's the kind of, movie, that's the kind of sitcom kind of show kind of thing. And most there was a couple of Latino men that was 16, 17. Latino men used to try to come on to me, not the boys. The Latino boys, like my best, I had a main boyfriend, so it wasn't really that serious, it wasn't really that much for me. That I missed out on, but I'm just saying because I've always been someone that is an observer, and I observe the way people would turn to mush or be like, "Oh yeah, I see my sister right here," but that Hispanic girl, damn, I witnessed it firsthand, and there was no jealousy, there was no nothing. I had a decent boyfriend. There's stuff about my friend that she went through with men that you know I was glad that I didn't have to go through those things. I was not glad that she had to go through them either. I was not glad that she went through them. I didn't want her to go through them. It used to hurt my feelings that she was going through them, but I wasn't going through them. Okay. So I wouldn't totally understand this. Okay. So, um, but I do remember, even when we got older and we start going to nightclubs and there's a variety of people, it's just not the people from little house parties or the 20 below or these little places, the little kid nightclub that they had for us in that town. It wasn't just that anymore, you know? Well, when we were going to the city, when we would go into the city, Milwaukee, Chicago, or whatever, it was the same thing. So in a sense, um, that Mexico could have been a snake because at first it makes me think about when the Lord came in and dashed everything to pieces or something because he told them to worship the Lord or go to they were still going to the woman or they were still going to someone else and was getting mad about that. All right. So something definitely could have been going on warfare on another level because even in the military, you think about it, you have different sectors. You got your, generals, you got your colonels, or I always get that the colonels. I think that's what it's called. You have your um whatever the other ones, the younger ones or whatever, the new people or whatever it's called. And then you have your generals, and then you have your brigadier generals. You have different, and all of them have different things that they have to focus on. They're all in the military, but they all have something different to focus on. All right. So it's something like that. Because it's making me think about that Bible verse when God was like, "Hey," I think he told Jacob or he told somebody, "Can't you find one that's like your own?" So this is like, if I have an image of me looking like Kim Kardashian and I'm brown skinned, and at my 30s, I look like she did when she was in her teens. Why, if this person was sent to come towards me, why did you pick the one that was light skinned? Why didn't you pick the one that was brown skinned like you? And then you want to come cause raising hell in my life because I don't want to lower my standards, or I don't want to sneak in the dark, or I don't want to do like this or something like this, right? In order, and somebody can say, but that was you. No, that's not my will. Somebody was doing something with my image without my will. You understand? That's a whole nother story right there. If somebody was trying to say, but that is you, I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like that. So that's what I'm trying to. And we also know that back in the day, we learned that people can't drink water from Mexico. If you come from other countries, you could get sick if you drink the water. So nobody thought about that when it's just like, oh, a race could say, oh, that's because Latino girls are better or something. Or is there something toxic when certain groups or breeds? Because even when Jesus had the well back then, when was that? Who was Jesus talking to? Who would it? Think about this, that this was in Jesus. It ain't like my house got a well, these people's house got a regular septic on this street. If I got a well, that means that some people could have hooked up to the city septic or something like this. But a lot of people over here started out or probably still have a well, right? But back then, we got subdivisions and stuff now. Back then, it could have been a well here, and then there ain't even another well at another house until 10 acres or 10, with the cornfields and stuff that used to run. Sitting at this well said this living water. It say the well of living waters, and say, so somebody trying to say that somebody this could be my mate, this could be who I'm on an ark with. You just too much answers. I want everything. Just like your daddy's had it, just like my daddy's had it, just like somebody did not want somebody to gain something. They think you should be soft or gentle with somebody. This is a fake king of cups. I'm old not. God said you shall not bow down and serve them. A community is in reverse. A sinful nation. You don't have to own nothing to no sinful nation. You got community in reverse in the upright, and then something is not and they promised them this, they promised them this, or that demon be lying back to the or that could even be over there with them or right next to them. What y'all really doing? You don't have the higher. Yeah, we should move there. None of this is why do it with these people. You don't want you whole thing is this. You can find that information too. That's what I'm thinking that they're doing. I think they're producing and then use the seed not seeing the futuristic at all. Yeah. Cherry in reverse. Okay. What about your friends? Are they gonna count you? Okay. What about your friends? Are they gonna count you down? Okay. Think about like I told you the cousin Nisi. Think about like because Left Eye remind me of her. Think about if these was the people like night never knew people keep up with something. Keep up with something. Something could happen. Something could happen. Is calmed down if they were taking seed. Is calmed down if they were taking seed when I was sleeping there. Okay, and if they were taking seed from my cousin to these, because I keep on seeing there's a forest over there between. Okay, and my boyfriend used to live a block or two away from by him, and from what I know, all right since I was little, they always since I was little they always lived there. Since I was born, I remember lived there. Since I was born, I remember them living there. And then probably like in the 80s, that's when my my person's my person them, I think they moved there in the early, and they was living there. That's the version of the story that I got, and they was just living there since that house was built. I saw my sister-in-law in the picture, and I was like, damn, she's starting to look like Annalisa to me a little bit. Like, I think her hair was like thinning a little bit. It's making me think about that now. But back to the story. But there's a little went to on that side of the train tracks. Oakdale School, which is on the other side of on the other side of the golf in the Metro House. So I went to the little school. I'm guessing, all right, because those people allegedly didn't have sex yet. I'm guessing that me after me and this person was dealing with each other, this person must have went back and double dip and gave this person the energy. That's what I'm thinking. The phone got overheated and cut out. But I remember when I was little, what I was about to say is there's a forest right there over that area. And with a boy. Do I remember exactly what this boy looked like? I don't know. Because I know that my Uncle Ernest's DNA, and they mixed it with, and they made a version of my masculine off of his DNA. But I remember I was lifted up and given some type of gift. You know how the Milky Way look, or like how they say, like, and it'd be like stars or something. I was a little kid spending the night there, and I was lifted up into the sky. And as soon as I was about to say that, the